Have you ever worked towards something for your entire life, finally got it, and felt absolutely nothing? It's the climax of Pixar's Soul. Joe Gardner just played the gig of a lifetime with jazz legend Dorothea Williams. He is sweating like a madman, completely lost in the music, absolutely in love with his work. The crowd goes wild. He steps outside into the cool New York City night. His name is on the marquee. He did it. And then he looks at Dorothea and asks, "What happens next?" She tells him they come back and do it all again tomorrow. And Joe just stands there, wandering out of the venue, feeling completely empty. He is wondering what it was all for. Imagine dedicating your entire existence to a single gig, only to find out it was just like any other job. Slightly more exciting, sure, but not the magical, life-altering salvation you were expecting. At that point, anyone would fall into an instant state of depression. You realize that all the people you could have connected with, all the opportunities you passed up, and all the days you took for granted are long gone. I feel like we gaslight ourselves every time we watch this movie, because Soul is marketed as a cute animated film about jazz and finding your spark. A movie that cost $150 million to make and spent 4 years in production. It won 2 Academy Awards and holds a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. But when you strip away the jokes, the body-swapping cat, and the ethereal glowing blobs, Soul isn't really a movie about following your dreams. It's a movie about the paralyzing psychological trap of deferred happiness. It is a brutal, uncomfortable mirror held up to every adult who has ever caught themselves saying, "When I finally get this, then I'll be happy." Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called the arrival fallacy, and it is ruining your life. Now, before we get into the heavy psychological...
Wow. I mean, that sounds deep. It sounds deep. I'm curious to see where he goes with this. I mean, I don't share that take. I mean, I'm pretty grateful for everything that I have, and I'm happy day to day on a regular basis. But I do strive for more. I do want to get. I do want to. There are like I feel like we can't be oblivious here. There are things in life that you just cannot do until you are at a certain level. Like you just cannot do it. Um, what I think he's saying is like, okay, you don't, you know, don't be ungrateful, don't be unhappy during the pursuit and expect to be happy once you reach the destination. I think the key is, and I could be wrong, I think the key to this is to solve this problem is to be grateful, express gratitude daily, be grateful for where you are, and be positive and be happy and still strive for more. And so as you gain more and more and more and more success, you are still happy. You're not waiting for the success to be happy. You're happy during the journey, and as you know, you reach different milestones and different everything. You're enjoying it as you're being happy. You're just enjoying different stages of your life. Now I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I haven't reached where I wanted to be, where I want to be yet, but I just feel like I'm generally happy, and I like um I'm enjoying my journey. You know what I mean? Of course, I want things to we can speed it up a little bit. I want to get rich a little faster. You know, we can speed it up a little bit. But I say that to say, you know, you know what I'm trying to say.
profiling of a cartoon jazz pianist, we have to establish the baseline. We have to look at who Joe Gardner actually is. Joe is a middle school band teacher with big dreams of becoming a professional jazz musician. From the moment we meet him, it's clear that music isn't merely a hobby, it is his lifeblood. He constantly reiterates how jazz is his life, his dream, and his one reason for living. But Joe is not happy in his job or where he is in life. He believes his failures have nothing to do with him and everything to do with others who've never given him a chance. To him,
See that's his problem. That's his problem right there. You never want to blame other people for the reason you are where you are today. It's always you, guys. Just remember that. That's one thing I do know. You got to find a way to take responsibility no matter how much you feel other people have done you wrong. The only way for you to actually propel and go further is for you to find a way to take accountability, because once you put the blame on other people, you take the power away from yourself to do something about the situation because it's out of your control, right? You're blaming other people. It's other people's fault. But as soon as you can take accountability and responsibility for, you know, whatever it is, you now have the power to wake up and do something different. I think that's where that's this guy's problem.
The only way to do right by his spark is to live a certain archetypal life, with his name on a marquee and countless gigs in the big city. Joe's ambition is pointing him toward a happiness that can only exist in the future, and it points him entirely away from the happiness that exists in each present moment. He fixates on his career at the expense of his connection to the world around him. He stops paying attention to the details, the small, mundane, and unremarkable things, because he sees them as insignificant. There's this scene early on where his mother reprimands him. She says, "You can't eat dreams for breakfast." She is literally begging him to be realistic and consider other aspects of his life, and Joe responds with, "I don't want to eat." Think about how absurd that is for a second. The man is literally willing to starve himself, to ignore the basic biological necessity of breakfast, because he thinks his purpose is the only thing that gives life meaning. He is so obsessed with his dream that he doesn't stop for a single moment to appreciate being alive.
But that's the caveat, though, guys. Wait, hold on. I need to make sure I'm using that word correct. Okay, yeah, I think I'm using that correct, guys. That's the caveat, guys. You could either focus 100% on the purpose, on the goal, on what you want to accomplish, and then everything else is going to take a back seat. And then you could have a true shot at accomplishing what you want to accomplish in life. Or you can bring everything else to the forefront and then try to have your purpose on the in the side pocket, or in the not really 100% locked in on the purpose, and then you never get a true shot, and then you regret it because you wind up living life and you never know what your life could have been if you locked in for X amount of time, right? It's like, everything is sacrificed, and it's like no matter what, you're gonna lose something. You're gonna miss out on something. If you go hard on the purpose and the goal, and you wind up becoming the jazz artist, and you're selling out shows, and you're doing it big, and you're blah blah blah, you're gonna miss out on the time you would have had if you could have spent with your kids, or you're probably going to be famous. You're going to lose out on the privacy part of your life. You can't walk around and go to the grocery store all normal anymore. And so now you're going to sit back and you're going to think, oh man, what did I do? Am I missing? And that's why you got to be grateful. No matter what the situation is, you got to be grateful. You got to recognize what you have that you are grateful for, and that what other people don't have. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that you're expressing gratitude all the time. That's the only way. I think that's the only solution to this problem is just gratitude. You got to be grateful no matter what. That don't mean don't strive for more. Always strive for more. I'm a big advocate for striving for more. I want more for myself. You know what I mean? But you always got to be grateful for what you have still. Still wake up happy. Still show love to don't treat everybody. Don't walk around sad like this guy. Don't be like this guy. You know what I mean?
And we applaud this. Throughout the film, the audience is rooting for Joe. We want him to succeed because the idea of following one's ambition is a widely accepted, celebrated notion in our society. We are culturally conditioned to believe that achieving our dreams equals fulfillment, but the movie is actively setting us up for a devastating psychological reality check. Enter Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar. He is a Harvard-trained positive psychology expert, and he coined the term arrival fallacy in his book, Happier. Ben-Shahar defines the arrival fallacy as the illusion that once we make it, once we attain our goal or reach our destination, we will reach lasting happiness. He actually discovered this through his own life. As a young elite squash player, he believed that if he could just win a major tournament, he would finally be happy. And he did win. And he was happy. For about 5 minutes. Once the euphoria faded, he found himself faced with stress, pressure, and a hollow feeling of emptiness. Accomplishing one goal simply led to a new sporting target being uncovered. His list of goals was never fully completed. Dr. Ben Shahar says the arrival fallacy is the exact reason why some Hollywood stars struggle so deeply with mental health. These individuals start out unhappy, but they say to themselves, it's okay, because when I make it, then I'll be happy. But then they make it. They get the Oscar, the mansion, the fame. And while they may feel briefly fulfilled, the feeling doesn't last. But this time, it's worse. This time, they are unhappy without hope. Because before, they lived under the false hope that achieving their dream would fix them. When the illusion is shattered, there is nothing left to hold on to. This is exactly what happens to Joe outside the jazz club. He is a man who just lost his false hope. But why does our brain do this to us? Why are we so fundamentally bad at predicting what will make us happy? Well, psychologists Timothy Wilson and Daniel Gilbert have spent decades studying this, and they call it the impact bias. The impact bias refers to our tendency to overestimate the intensity and duration of our emotional reactions to future circumstances. Gilbert and Wilson conducted dozens of studies on this. They looked at college professors who were up for tenure. These professors expected to be happy for years if they got tenure, and devastated for years if they were denied. But when the researchers checked back in, the two groups were equally happy after just a brief amount of time. They studied voters during major elections. Voters invariably predict that if their candidate wins, they're going to be ecstatic for months. In reality, their baseline happiness is barely influenced by electoral outcomes. We are biologically terrible at predicting our own emotional futures. And that brings us to the most terrifying psychological concept of all, hedonic adaptation, also known as the hedonic treadmill.
Oh, this guy's going deep.
In 1971, psychologists Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell proposed a theory that people return to a relatively stable, baseline level of happiness regardless of external changes.
That's what I mean, guys, and that's what I'm saying, guys. You just gotta be happy no matter what on your day-to-day basis. You have to just be happy, and you have to just be grateful and just be happy like right now. You know what I mean? So that way, that's your base level. And then when something good happen, you get super happy, and then when the euphoria wears off, you fall back down to a regular chill everyday happy. You know what I mean? Like listen guys. Some stuff in life, the way at least America is set up, it's stressful, right? It's stressful. It's hard to just wake up and just be in a good mood. And so it kind of sets you up to think that, okay, if this problem gets solved, then I will be in a better mood. And okay, let me let the cat out of the bag. For this guy's jazz, for most people, I believe it's some money. All right, and most people, I believe, I'm gonna just keep it real. For most people, I believe it's some money. Right? Let's just let the cat out the bag. Let's keep it real. Everybody, what are we talking about here? Money and happiness, right? It's always the conversation. Does money buy happiness? Does money buy happiness? Does money buy happiness? And here's what I believe. I believe money buys the freedom of choice. Guys, the freedom of choice. Money allows you to choose. Without money, you cannot choose. You know what I mean? You don't have the options. You have to follow down the shoot this way. You know what I mean? But money allows you the freedom to choose. It allows you to make decisions. It opens up your option pool. You know what I mean? When you don't have money, your option pool is real small. When you got money, your option pool is big. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. If a motherfucker broke right now and he ain't got no money, $0 in his bank account, it's gonna be how can he go and experience the traveling the entire world? How he gonna do that? How he gonna do that, y'all? How he gonna do it? What, he gonna have to go out and just haggle for? You gonna have to do something for the money. You gonna have to do something for the money. You know what I mean? You're going to have to do something to get on that plane. You're going to have to do something once you get to your destination to find somewhere to live. And it's probably not impossible, but it's just not It's not ideal. Who wants to fucking travel to fucking Spain, hitchhiking on a fucking cargo ship, get to Spain, and then scavenge the trash for food, sleep under a bench, and you're not even enjoying Spain at that point. You know what I mean? So it's like money allows you the freedom to choose. It allows you to get your time back. It allows you to take your time back. When you don't have money, you're forced to work, and somebody's gonna give you peanuts, and they never give you enough peanuts to lead a circus. They never give you enough peanuts to lead a circus and venture off on your own and find a peanut tree. You know what I mean? They never give you, you never get enough peanuts to get out of the circus and go find a peanut tree. So you're always in the circus, showing up day after day, getting your 5 peanuts and getting put back in the cage, coming back, getting your 5 peanuts, getting put back in the cage, because you know you need peanuts. I may be going too hard. I don't know. Let's wrap it up.
In 1978, Brickman put this to the ultimate test. He surveyed a group of recent lottery winners, people who had literally won millions of dollars, and he found that just 18 months after winning the lottery, these people were no happier than a control group of regular people who hadn't won a dime. Let me repeat that. Winning the lottery did not make them permanently happier because of the brain's ventral striatum. This is the critical player in the brain's reward system. When you get a reward, like a new car, a promotion, or a massive gig, playing with Dorothea Williams, the ventral striatum lights up. You feel a surge of excitement, but over time, it becomes less responsive to the exact same rewards. The novelty wears off. The new car just becomes your commute. The massive paycheck just becomes your new normal. The dream gig just becomes your Tuesday night.
Man, speak for yourself, dude. Dude, I got my Tesla. I love my Tesla, y'all. I love my Tesla. I got my Tesla back in 2024. It's 2026 now. I still smile every time I get in that car. Every time I look at that car. I think the problem is these people want stuff that they don't really want, that other people want. You know what I mean? Speak for your damn self, bro. Speak for your damn self. I'm tired of everybody always putting all this doom and gloom on wanting to get some money or wanting to have some goals or wanting more. Oh, every time you want more, you're not going to be happy still. Man, fuck those lottery winners, man. If they got a fucking 5, 10, $50 million lottery ticket and they can't find a way to enjoy themselves, that's on them. Fuck them. Give me the 50 million. I promise you I'm gonna turn the fuck. I promise you I'm gonna be chill. You feel me? I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be grateful. I promise you I ain't. You know what I mean? These niggas still mad. They got $50 million and you still mad? You still sad? Huh? I remember the point in my life when I had the most money I've ever had. Guys, you could ask anybody around me. I was having a fool ass time. I was having a good ass time. I was happy every day. I was turned up every single day. What is you talking about? What are you talking about right now? Don't tell me you get some money and you still mad. Hell no. When I get money, I'm having a blast and everybody around me having a blast too. See what I'm saying? I think you do need a little bit more. You know, you probably need some friends too to go with it. You know what I mean? You probably need some friends. You need to have you just gotta, I don't know, man. Listen, I can't speak for y'all. I'm gonna just speak for myself. Listen, I'm happy on a general day-to-day basis, but with some money, with some more money, shit, I'm gonna be a lot more turned. I'm gonna just leave it at that. We out.